Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to rank all the clans in Peroxide Update 1. So first off, I just want to start off by saying that most of the good clans are really hard to get, and this is all skill based, so you can also be really good with a bad clan. But without further ado, let's get started. First up, we have the best clans in the S tier. So in the S tier, we have Yamamoto, Kurosaki, Aizen, and Zaraki. So first up, we have Yamamoto. This clan is probably the best clan in the game right now, in my opinion, because it gives a 40% EXP multiplier, 15% strength multiplier, 10x agility multiplier, 13% vitality multiplier, 15% spirit multiplier, and more. And this makes it super OP because it's one of the only clans with an EXP multiplier and gives you almost 50% more EXP when you're grinding. This makes it insanely OP because it gives the same stats as other clans while giving an EXP boost. This makes it super OP. Next up, we have Zaraki. This is Kenpachi's clan, and this has a 15% strength multiplier, 50% vitality, 10x better Ryatsu, and 12% better health. This makes it pretty OP because it's pretty useful in like battle and like PvE or PvP, because it also has like increased vitality, which makes it really nice because it only matches up with Yamamoto, and it's only slightly worse because of the lack of the EXP multiplier. Next up, we have Aizen. Aizen is the baddest villain in all of Bleach, and we all know that his clan has to be OP. So Aizen is OP because he has a 15% spirit multiplier, 30% vitality multiplier, and 50% Ryatsu multiplier, and 10% better health regen. And the reason it's a low S tier is because it doesn't really have a strength multiplier, which is probably super useful, because it's super useful for like PvP, like just normal M1s. And then finally, in the S tier, we have Kurosaki. Kurosaki has a 12% vitality multiplier, 30% multiplier, 15% Ryatsu multiplier, and 12% Ryatsu regen. So this insanely OP compared to the other clans because it gives like some really high boosts, and it's also the main character's clan. So in every single Bleach game, it has to be extremely OP, and there's like no doubt about that. Next up, we have tier B. So in the B tier, we have Chad. And let's start off with Chad. So Chad has 20% strength and 20% better health regen. And in my opinion, this is actually better than Kurosaki just because I like the strength boost a lot better. And this makes it super OP. Next up, we have Kuchiki. Kuchiki has a 15% agility multiplier and a 20% spirit multiplier. Abarai has a 15% strength multiplier and a 20% vitality multiplier. So these are pretty similar, except Kuchiki gives agility while Abarai gives strength. But these are all pretty good buffs, so that's why I put them in the B tier. And then finally, we have Shiwen, which is Yorichi's clan. And Yorichi gives a 20% more agility and 20% more strength. And in my opinion, this is probably the best B tier clan. And if you spin this, I would definitely recommend keeping it because the agility and the strength is like a deadly combo. And then we have the C tier. So in the C tier, we have a bunch of clans, including Uzumaki from Naruto, Shen, Saru, Ken, Kurosami, Rengoku from Demon Slayer, Mikazuki, Hayanami, and Inui. And then we have Kuroku, Lee, and then Kaneki. And in my opinion, if you pull a common, I would just recommend spinning it because the common clans are not good at all. And if you get one, they're like kind of like bad because the effects are not good at all. Like they barely give any buffs or anything, and that's why I just not recommend getting it at all. Because instead of percentage boost, that should give like super small like Ryatsu and strength boost. But I'll still list them off. First up, we have Inui or Inu. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it gives 5 spirit. Ken gives 5 spirit. Kurosami gives 5 spirit. While Uzumaki gives 5 strength, Hayanami gives 5 Ryatsu, Akashi gives 5 Ryatsu, Minazuki gives 5 agility, Rengoku gives 5 vitality, Shen gives 5 agility, Saru, and then these are like probably the worst clans. These are low C tier. Like if you just get these, I would just recommend spinning them instantaneously. Like just don't even like try playing with these clans. Next up, we have the high tier C clans, which are Saru, Kuroku, Lee, and Kaneki. Kaneki is pretty decent actually in my opinion because it has an EXP multiplier, but my main pet peeve with it is that it has no other like boosts in it and it only has EXP. Lee is decent because it has a 10% agility multiplier, and Kuroku is actually better because it has 10% better Ryatsu regen, which is actually the same effect as Saru. So these are actually some pretty decent clans, but if you got any other common clans, I'll just recommend spinning them away. And yeah, these are the best clans for Soul Reapers right now. So next up we have the hollow clans, and my bad if I mispronunciate because I'm gonna butcher these names completely. So the best clans for hollows are Jekhez, Cypher, Stark, and Lewis and Barton. So these are the best clans for hollow because they give insane abilities while also giving like extra abilities too. Like for example, Grimjow's clan, Jekhez, gives hollow abilities, 15% strength multiplier, 10% agility, and 13% vitality. So it also gives hollow abilities in Grand Ray Sero, which is an insanely OP Sero, and I would definitely like recommend using this if you get it. Next up we have Ulquiorra's clan, Cypher. So Cypher gives Lanza del Relampago hollow abilities and then the usual abilities, and while Stark gives Cerro Metralera and more hollow abilities. And this just makes it like insanely OP because no other hollow clans give extra abilities, and not even Soul Reaper clans give extra abilities. That's why I would actually recommend becoming like a hollow or a Quincy over the Soul Reaper, just because they give you extra abilities and you're more powerful. And then finally we have the final S tier clan. And the final S tier clan is Lewis Barton. And this, like Yamamoto, it has a 40% EXP multiplier and a bunch of other abilities, which is why I definitely put it at the top of S tier, because the EXP multiplier just makes it so good to like level up and more. That's why I definitely recommend getting those clans. So next up we have the B tier clans for hollow, and these clans are Gilga, Riro, Arururi, Haribel, like Tier Haribel, and Yargo. So the reason Gilga is good because it has a strength and vitality multipliers. Ruro has an agility multiplier. Arurure has a 15% spirit multiplier. Haribel has a 15% spirit and vitality multiplier. And Yargo has a 15% strength, Ryatsu, and vitality multiplier. So I actually say that Yargo is the best B tier clan. So if you do get a B tier clan, make sure to get Yargo. And then finally we have the common clans, and all the common clans are red, and if you get them, just like Soul Reaper, I just recommend spinning them away. These clans are Pyxemes, Redark, Halargo, Reese, Turgis, Grindella, Yargire, Roduyan, Herrit, Galiga, Turgo, and Wesquilian. And I have no idea why the creator of Bleach made their name so hard, but all their abilities are listed up above. They just mostly give 5 spirit, Ryatsu, agility, or vitality, while others give 5% more regen, Ryatsu, or agility. But this is just like really bad compared to like other clans. Alright, next up we have the Quincy tier list. So the Quincy tier list is actually way smaller because there's less Quincy clans, which makes sense because there are less Quincy's. So first we have Yawak, the main villain of 1000 Year Blood War arc, and it's the biggest baddest guy in Bleach in general, like next to Aizen. And he gives a 15% strength multiplier, 30% vitality, 10% better Ryatsu, and 12% better health regen. While Ishida, one of the main characters, gives the same ability set for less vitality, but more Ryatsu. And just because of that, I would actually rank these pretty high because these are pretty decent clans for Quincy. But in my opinion, I like Hollows a lot better. So next up we have the B tier clans for the Quincy's. And these clans are Hashwald, Valkyrie, Parangias, and Baro. And I think these were the 4 dudes that like Ichigo fought, or like the Soul Reapers fought, at the end. But I don't know if they've animated that yet, so spoiler warning. Alright, so these just give 15% to 20% multipliers for spirit, Ryatsu, vitality, and strength. And all of it is listed up above. But these are pretty decent. If you don't get any legendaries, I would definitely recommend using a rare. That's why they're pretty good. And then finally, the common clans for Quincy are literally worse than the common clans for Hollows and for Soul Reapers. So if you get one, just save up your spins and try to use more. Because I think there are codes, so just save up. So for commons, we have Lloyd, Rowo, Daloe, Erli, Fariel, Plesnon, Sternel, Ermeger, Grubia, Hydelock, Wadement, and Bernoth. And these just alternate between 5 Ryatsu, strength, vitality, and agility. And Bernoth gives 5 spirit. But these are all garbage effects, and I would definitely not recommend using them. But yeah, that's all the clans ranked in Peroxide. And if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe. And let me know what other Peroxide videos I should do. And guys, for watching, please subscribe.